Hi there, welcome to Calha Norte. My name is Hannah. I'm going to be showing you some of the features of my project today. This is a mapped database of a conservation mosaic in the northern part of the Brazilian Amazon. We can see here this conservation mosaic, which covers over 14 million hectares, is a patchwork of different types of conservation areas. It covers this big chunk of the state of Pará here and most of the state of Amapá over here. So in my mapped database of the Calha Norte mosaic, we see 4 different types of conservation areas. We have indigenous territories, with different information, qualitative information, and some data as well. We have Quilombola territories, which are maroon communities which receive specific land grants with conservation purposes. Again, similar to the indigenous territories, we have some qualitative data available, community organizations, resident population. We also have federal and state level protected areas, but these are classified by integral protection reserves and sustainable development reserves. In the dark blue, these are integral protection reserves, so these are reserves where no human activity is permitted. We can see here this table shows implementation indicators, so how well this protected area is actually implemented. We see here this particular one has quite a low score of implementation, and by exploring the database a little bit, we can find out why that is. This is a state-level forest reserve. This is a sustainable use reserve. So people are allowed to live within its boundaries, although their use of natural resources are typically restricted. Information about that is available in the tables. Again, we have implementation indices. We also have information about all the municipal capitals, all the municipalities that are touched by these conservation areas. And this is interesting for us because we can find out some of the history and some of the quantitative data that will give us more complete picture of how conservation dynamics and conservation politics operate in the region that we're interested in. Another reason that I find Google Earth a really excellent tool to use, apart from its ease of use and its legibility for all kinds of different audiences, is this very interesting feature here. This is the time lapse. See this little button up here? This time lapse allows us to look at satellite imagery all the way back to 1969. Here we're looking at the Saracataquera National Forest Reserve. This forest reserve is a sustainable use protected area, but it's very interesting because it's actually home to Brazil's largest bauxite mine. As we can see, it has quite a large resident population and several threats to the environment, as you know, would seem obvious. It also has relatively low implementation rate. And looking at the satellite imagery of this particular mine, we can see even just over the past 25 years, the incredible growth of the mine itself. So here we're looking at 1984, and here we're back in 2015, so over 20 years, just the change that we can see here. And also look at this. Let's go back to 1984 for a second. Look at the forest cover around the protected area. We can see that in 20 years, as the mine grows, so does the threats to forest cover adjacent to the protected area. And here we see even agricultural lands encroaching into the boundaries of the protected area itself. We also can see roads here if we look closely. So this can tell us a lot about how different expansion of economic industry changes conservation dynamics in a particular region. So these are just a few features of the map itself. There's much more that we can do and learn with this tool. If you're interested in learning more, I'd encourage you to download the KMZ file and the Google Earth software. There's a link on my website, calhanorteportal.com. That's calhanorteportal.com. And I hope you found this video informative and that it has piqued your interest. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me in the contact box on my website. Thanks again for watching.